Hello again.
We're back.
We are back
We
again.
have tea to discuss the tea.
So much tea to spill. It is crazy.
Yeah, the fact that I have to go over all of Casa Amor right now, my head is spinning.
And now we're kind of getting into like the aftermath, the ramifications of Casa.
This is the thing with this show, right? Is that like it is at least in a normal paced show like VPR, like I have a week to recover between episodes. This is just like everything thrown at you and then you sit down and realize what you have to talk about, and I feel like I've lived 85 lives.
It's been 84 years.
No, legit.
If you're watching this, it probably took a while. Everything has already aired. We're probably into the next week already. But it's been taking me quite a minute to get week 2 out, so I'm sorry in advance. Or I guess I'm sorry behind, because who knows how long it's going to be until this episode comes out. But
Listen, life is hard, man.
life is hard.
We talked a lot that episode.
We did.
We're not going to talk a lot today.
We're going to try our best.
We're going to try our hardest. I can't make any promises. Casa Amor was a lot.
Yeah,
And it was our first ever Casa Amor experience, so.
I know. I'm not ready mentally for this.
That's why I got tea.
So, if you haven't picked up by now, we're going into now week 4 of Love Island USA.
We only have 2 weeks left, I believe.
Shut the fuck up.
If it's like 6 weeks, isn't it?
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's wild. Yeah, so I guess at that point, right, Casa Amor must be like the halfway mark to the show. And it still feels like there's still so much more left to go.
It's crazy to me that we went into spoiler alert, we went into Casa Amor with maybe, I'd say, 3 strong couples.
Yeah,
And
3 sounds about right.
we have come out of Casa Amor with 1.
Barely.
Just barely scraping by.
Who knows what that really says, right?
It's, yeah. Well, the Instagram poll, everyone agrees with my theory, so.
Oh, that's true. That's fair. Yes. We got a lot of responses agreeing with that.
I love that for me. I literally recorded that TikTok in the back alley of my salon. Like, in between clients. I had like 10 minutes between, and I was like, I gotta run to the back real quick, guys. And they're like, yeah, okay, no problem. I didn't tell them why I was going back.
No questions asked.
No questions asked.
So we'll go straight into episode 18, which is where we last left you guys. Connor has left the villa.
Connor is gone. He went on the after sun, and now he has departed from the island.
He's no longer in Fiji.
He's no longer with us.
But apparently he's still talking to another departed islander.
Cassidy.
Yes.
I love that for him.
Spoiler, guys.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Andrea has been pretty active on TikTok too. I landed on Love Island TikTok real fast. And she popped up on my For You page the other day.
She's been pretty vocal. I noticed she was on probably more podcasts than a lot of the other departed islanders.
I'm going to say this right now. Andrea was nothing compared to Dea.
Nothing.
Or Daniela.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I thought she was the worst.
Dea?
Andrea.
Oh, Andrea.
We'll get into all of my feelings about the Casa girls later, but like, I really thought Andrea was going to be like the most annoying, I'm not like other girls girl, and I was proven wrong.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're picking up from after when Connor left the villa. Mm-hmm. Rob and Cassidy, they're chatting, but obviously they don't seem to vibe well, and it seems like Cassidy is immediately regretting her choice of choosing to couple up with Rob, which, surprise, surprise.
Hold on.
Right?
Okay, continue. I had to like get my brain wrapped around what the fuck episode we were at. Hold on. Okay.
I know.
We're back in time real fast. Okay.
1 week.
It's a lot.
Yeah. We see that Kendall and Nicole's connection is starting to get much, much stronger.
I'm mad at Kendall, but I love them.
Yes, I do like them.
I think it's mostly just because I love Nicole so much.
Yeah, she's sweet.
I adore her, and it's Kendall's saving grace right now is the fact that he's coupled with Nicole.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now at this point, Liv and Nigel. Was it Nigel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Liv and I know. I had to like. Whoop. Okay. So Liv and Nigel are not doing very hot, not going very well here, and Nigel is immediately in like insecure mode.
Yeah.
And he's just like basically grilling Liv, like, do you regret choosing me? And
She was okay. It really just showed his age and his immaturity because, like, she was literally just sad that her friend they lost a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like their friend left. It was someone that they were all really they're all very
everyone
close to each other.
was so devastated
Yes.
about losing Connor.
And I like, how do you not understand that? Like, it's not about you, Nigel.
Yeah, it was a very, very emotional thing. And I feel like Liv was probably feeling it, especially because of the fact that she technically, it was her decision that ended up sealing his fate.
It was her and Leah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But more so her because we all knew Leah was going to pick Miguel anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, she's probably feeling like shit. And instead of giving her the appropriate amount of space to let her sit
And
with
she's
that.
such an empathetic person that it hurts my heart to see her feel like everything so strongly.
Mm-hmm.
And it really pissed me off with Nigel because I'm like, she needs your support, a hug.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you had to see your friend leave, not a, why are you so upset about him leaving? I feel like you don't care.
Where's my hug at?
Go away.
Yeah, so I feel like there was something that we missed there because again, where the fuck did that come from? And why is it always happening with Liv?
Speaking of things we don't see, according to the subreddit, shout out to the subreddit, I love you guys. There is so much that we did not see between Serena and Cordell that makes everything that's happened between them in the last 48 hours worse.
Yeah, I believe that because I was just asking Max about that last night. I was like, I want to know what she talked about with him that caused all of this.
I have sprinklings and I will tell them, remind me when we get to this point to tell you
Yeah.
the tea.
For sure.
Yeah, but that's my point in that was there's so much that so much we see and still so much that we don't see that like it feels like was it Liv and Hakeem where it was like all of a sudden they like didn't like each other and I was like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? It feels like this with like,
Yeah.
but she keeps getting these insecure boys that can't handle her.
Yeah. So aside from like the non-important parts of them just going their separate ways, venting to people about it, they take us to Liv and Rob, and I think this is where they start trying to plant seeds. Like, oh, maybe they'll find their way back to each other.
They won't.
They won't.
They won't. I'm 85% convinced that he is half contestant, half producer plant.
Rob?
Yes.
I think so.
Because why the fuck did he bring Daniela back? Spoiler alert, sorry
Yeah.
guys.
So they're going into the next day. We're in day 16 at this point in the recap. Crazy. Nigel then decides he's going to apologize to Liv. They sort
As he
of
should.
close that chapter out. Serena and Cordell are just watching this unfold. We see Rob then striking out with Cassidy because again,
It was this the cute moment where Cordell and Serena were like dancing in soul ties of like, eh.
probably
That was adorable.
because we did see them really start to like vibe a lot more before Casa.
She's a slow burner. It took her a second.
And-
She got there.
and we see why she's a slow burner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron and Kayla are at the point now where they're starting to feel like they might let each other, but they just can't bring themselves to say it at this point. At this point,
my face.
here's my thought, right? You can tell somebody, right, that you think that you're on the path of falling in love with them, but at that point, you might as well just say it, you know? They were just being so weird, beating around the bush about it.
They are. I do give them a little bit of grace because they are in their 20s, in their late 20s,
No.
or early
well,
20s.
I was gonna say, Kayla's only 22.
I give them a little bit of a pass because, I mean, I'm a whole ass decade older, and you approach things so differently than you do at that age.
That's fair.
And like that. There's that little dance you do when you're young like that of like, oh, I can't be serious. Like you know what I mean? But like now I'm like, no, I like you.
Yeah.
You're so much more upfront once you get out of the like baby phase. Like you think
Yeah.
about it, she's only what, like 4 years out of high school? That's
Oh my
nothing.
god. Ugh.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rob is still a sad boy, basically missing Andrea. But then he tells Aaron he's gravitating towards Liv a little bit more, which again,
That
honestly, we might as well have never seen that.
That was weird because it popped up and then it fizzled right out. Mm-hmm. And I have not heard anything. I honestly totally forgot that was even a conversation that was had.
And then speaking of other useless conversations, we see Liv and Cassidy talk about Rob.
Yeah.
Which again was kind of weird, but Leah was being very seemingly supportive of Cassidy and Rob being together. And at this point, right, we're already like, at this point in the game, 4 weeks out, and you kind of forget that the Rob and Leah chapter ever actually happened.
Oh yeah, it's like a weird dream that happened, like a little baby nightmare.
Getting a lot of whiplash.
It's so much whiplash. No, because literally you watch her with Miguel now, and you're like, how did she ever like anybody else?
Right. So we also see Rob and Liv chatting at one point, and I only made note of this because he said some shit like, oh, I wanted to pull you for a chat for a while. And my first thought was like, oh, you mean like while you were with Andrea? Right?
The one that and you Cassidy? Almost just left with, that you cared so much about?
Right. Like,
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
And he said something along the lines of like, he was like secretly liking her. Meanwhile, again, he was coupled up with Miss Thang that like, he was literally, like you said, about to leave for.
This makes no sense to me because Homeboy was coupled up with Liv and he straight up was like, I don't like her.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you like her? I mean, I get maybe initially she comes off very strong because I didn't really even like her in the beginning. I thought she was a little...
I wasn't sure about her.
Yeah, but the more you get to know her and the more you're like, oh wait, no, she's great.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if like maybe that's like initially he was kind of, I don't want to say put off, but like her whole thing is she's very assertive and she's very sure of herself. And I think maybe at first he was like intimidated by it, so he didn't like her. But the more he got to know her, he's like, oh wait, she's actually cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's where it's coming from, but it still feels really fucking weird because you just like declared your undying love for Leah, and then you declared your undying love for Andrea, and now here you are, like you almost left with her, and then he didn't actually leave it. Like, he wasn't ever going to actually leave her.
But he was putting on that show.
But he was putting on the show of, like, I care about her so much, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, 24 hours later, you're like, so Liv.
Right.
I've actually liked you since the first day you came in the villa, even though that's the opposite of what I told you the first day you came in the villa.
Rob is just coasting through this whole villa experience. Coasting.
I'm telling you, the more he slithers around, the more I'm convinced this man is half contestant, half producer plant.
Maybe. The plot device is plot devicing.
He's doing a way better job at producer planting than Lala ever did.
Yeah.
So
It's
take notes, Lauren from Utah. This is how you producer plant.
Kaylor tells Aaron that she can see him being her boyfriend just in time for Casa Amor. Nicole gets a text, and they have to gather by the fire pit. Oh shit, it's another elimination. It's the America's Vote elimination.
24 hours after.
Straight up, 24 hours later.
24 hours after Connor gets sent home, I once again had to vote for someone. I was so nervous for this one because I had voted for, talk about this.
I think we swapped our votes.
Yeah, we talked about this the last episode, that like I had voted for Aaron and Kaylor.
And then I voted for Cordell and Serena.
Yes, and watching this elimination, I was like, because Kendall and Nicole they weren't announced they were like one of the last safe couples. Mm-hmm. And I was so nervous because I love them and I was like, I should have voted for them. What was I doing?
So the safe couples in order were somehow Leah and Miguel.
Well, I don't think it was technically in order because Ariana did say in no particular order.
Oh, well, I'm going by the order that they announced.
But the order in which they announced them, yeah.
It's still weird.
Yeah.
So it's Leah and Miguel, Janae and Kenny, Kaylor and Aaron, Serena and Cordell, Nicole and Kendall, which lent the bottom two, excuse me, Cassidy and Rob, and Liv and Nigel, because I forgot Nigel's still here. And now here's where it gets especially fucked up.
Oh, the producers are fucking ruthless this season.
They said, we can't get rid of Rob and Liv at the same time. So here we go. Everybody stands in a single line. like this. And then the Islanders have to choose who stays by standing behind the Islander that they want to save. This
fucking
was
savage.
This was cruel.
So cruel. I'm really wondering when they decide to do things like this, like, do they wait to see what the results are?
I think so.
And then decide how, because even with the other one, when we all voted, they had the Islanders, the girls, and the guys then voted themselves. And I'm wondering if they like see who the bottom are, and they're like, well, shit.
This is how it's going to go.
We have to figure out a way to keep these two. How do we do it?
These new kids, they're not working out. Obviously, right? It doesn't take a genius to know that the OGs are going to stand by the other OGs. And sure enough, Nigel and Cassidy, just as quickly as they came in the villa, are being escorted out of the villa.
I felt really bad for Cassidy in this moment because at least Nigel had Kenny standing behind him, and I keep forgetting that Kenny had come in with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Kenny's like the only safe new guy. Safe bombshell.
Yeah. No, but I felt so bad for Cassidy in this moment because at least Nigel had one person standing behind him. Like, Kenny was behind him, right? And then I think she was thinking that Leah maybe would stand behind her because it was obvious at that point that
she was going home.
That she was going home regardless of who stood behind her or not, because at this point Liv had every single girl behind her. And I kind of wish that Liv had done that just as a kind gesture, because it had to be so horrible to stand there with not a single soul behind you.
I think even the girls were saying, please stand behind her. Like,
yeah.
They were, because same reasons.
Give her something. It's so mean. It's so cruel. And it's not their fault. Like, it's not the girl's fault. It's not the guy's fault of who they stood behind. Like, they're doing what they're told. It just sucks to see Cassidy getting so upset. Because, like, you watch her whole neck and, like, gets so red the longer that she stood there alone.
Yeah.
And she was holding in her feelings. And I wanted to, like, jump through the screen and, like, hug her. I'm like, I don't really have any care for you at all. Like, if you leave, I'm not going to be sad. But, like, I feel so bad for you right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? And I wrote this in my notes, too, about when Cassidy and Leah were talking. And she kind of put Leah on the spot like that. My first thought was, like, you just met her. I get that you had, like, that one nice conversation together.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you're entitled to have her stand behind you. Like, I understand it would have been a nice gesture, like, in hindsight.
Yeah.
But Liv is also her friend and has been her friend from the beginning.
Liv has been every single girl's biggest supporter since the moment she stepped in that house.
Even when they had, like, that little spat over Rob at one point, they still were able to make up for it, and I think it just made their foundation a lot stronger.
Yeah.
So it's like, you still have to understand the reasoning as to why she stood behind her. So that's where I was just kind of like, girl, I get why you're upset, but, like, you don't have to put her on the spot for it. You don't need to make this a whole confrontation.
No.
So the episode pretty much ends. This whole episode was basically just fluff leading up to the next elimination for the most part.
Yeah.
Because the episode ends and they give us the Casa Amor preview. Now we're on episode 19.
Yikes.
The first of a few Casa Amor episodes. We are now on Casa Amor time, baby.
These were the most infuriating episodes I have ever watched of any television show in my entire life.
And I still loved every second.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was amazing. But I hated every second. It was so infuriating.
Yeah. So we go into after Nigel and Cassidy depart. Kenny and Janae have their first kiss. Serena and Kenny are telling each other... Oh, I meant to say Cordell. Serena and Cordell are basically saying that they really like each other. They have a very steamy makeout. Nicole basically says, she's looking to continue working through things with him. She's not completely closed off, but she's basically saying, like, you're kind of my guy. Aaron and Rob are talking now, and they're joking around because they're basically saying that Rob is cursed. That everyone is cursed. Almost everyone he couples up with now, from Andrea on, gets sent home.
I'm gonna call it right now.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a vote up that I missed.
No, we haven't had a vote since this episode.
Okay, I have a feeling after tonight's episode we might.
I think so, because now everybody's back at the villa.
And if we do, I know who's going home.
Oh my gosh, baby.
The curse will continue. I'm telling you.
Kayla and Liv chat about Liv's talk with Rob. Liv seems very unsure, really, about her feelings. Kaylor basically says, just don't be closed off. Just see where it takes you. And then, obviously, wasted conversation because they don't realize that they're about to all separate for Casa the next day. So now we're going into day 17. Casa Amor Day. And they start the day off. Guys in the kitchen, Miguel gets that text. And they quietly read that it's time to make a decision. They get to choose whether or not they want to stay and stick with their current connection, or they can go to Casa Amor. And one by one, we get a montage of each guy just running off, grabbing their suitcase, and just running off into the daylight to go to Casa Amor.
Miguel's exit was the funniest thing I've ever seen on television.
I thought it was all hilarious.
That was so fucking funny.
They were just all way too excited to be getting
way too excited. In this moment, right, let's reverse time, let's go back. I'm not going to be present day Sarah. I am going to be live watching this episode, Sarah. I appreciated that the boys in couples took the time to talk about it before, because like Robin, Kenny, and Miguel just like booked it like their pants were on fire, right? And then was it Kendall, Aaron, and Cordell took a second to like, what are we doing? Like, that's some ground rules. Cordell set boundaries. Aaron set some boundaries. Like, let's be respectful to our girls upstairs. And Kendall, they were all and then they said, okay, let's go. And I appreciated that.
Yeah. I think
I take it all back. Present Sarah takes it all back. But past Sarah was like, that's okay. That was a good sign.
I partly also think that I think they all knew that Casa was like,
oh, they had to.
I think they all like knew that they were about to go to Casa.
Eventually, Casa Amor was going to come. Like,
No, like I'm saying, like from behind the fourth wall, I'm saying like you guys are going to Casa Amor tomorrow.
Yeah,
just be prepared for that text.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that.
Because their bags were packed.
That's true. Their bags were packed, but also like they were having those pre-Casa conversations like that night before. So I'm just like,
I'm sure
timing is convenient.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like they didn't give them the exact time so that the reactions were genuine, but I'm sure it was kind of like a, hey, within the next 48 hours, expect the Casa Amor text.
So the girlies all come downstairs like, where are the guys? As if they don't know that they're gone. Ariana comes in her cute, like, rainbow, like, multicolored short dress with the pretty hair and the extensions.
A style icon. She's literally stunning, and every time she's on my television, I just look at her like, God.
I loved this look on her.
All of her
good.
looks this season have been. There's not one I didn't like. Like some of them, I'm like, I wouldn't wear that, but she is pulling it off like nobody's business.
Yeah. So she gathers all the girlies around the fire pit to tell them, your men all had the choice and they chose to go to Casa. And the only one that's really devastatingly upset about it, of course, is Kaylor. She is not very happy about it.
Which I understand, I don't understand. It's part of the process, right? You're not closed off, so there was no reason for him to stay. But I understand her feelings because they did just have the LOVE conversation.
Exactly.
And
I think she was just trying to think like wishfully thinking, right? That maybe he would just be so sure of this connection that he would want to stay.
It really irks me that the boys kept going, I have to test my connection. I have to test my connection. Like,
they were not testing it. They were tempted.
That really pissed me off the whole, 4 days they were there, because it is just a fucking lame-ass excuse. Because in the real world, you're not testing your connection by sticking your tongue down another girl's throat. Like, that's not how this works. You could have tested your connection respectfully.
You can still have conversations with these women. You don't need to avoid them like the plague.
It just really pissed me off that was the excuse that they kept using all week long was, I'm testing my connection hasn't been tested yet. I have to test our connection.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Like, the only time, and I think everybody thankfully was under the same understanding, the only time it was acceptable to go kissing another person
was during a challenge.
Was during the challenges, yeah.
Yes.
Outside of the challenge,
that's when yes, exactly. Yes.
So we'll get there.
But
yeah. But girlies have no fear, for Ariana has established that there will be a pool party with 6 new hot gentlemen.
I mean, can we say hot?
Uh,
They did the girls really dirty.
Kind of, yeah.
They did. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be a bitch and I'm gonna say it. They did the girls dirty, okay?
They were not the greatest of picks.
When you put them up against
The OG guys.
the boys we have and like the guy bombshells we've had come in so far, and then you bring in these boys, I felt like I was looking at 18-year-olds.
They
Granted,
knew what they were doing.
I am 10 years older than them, so it is a weird, like, I feel weird saying that they're attractive, right? Because it's like a baby, but they did the girls so dirty.
Yeah. I think they knew to production that they were not going to choose any of
Of course, I
these
saw
guys.
Ariana commented somewhere, TikTok, Instagram, something,
I think
that
it was TikTok.
they have, that it's actually extremely difficult to find men to come in to do Casa Amor.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was our pick.
Yes.
Those were our picks. Wonderful, wonderful souls, right? I enjoyed them.
I thought George was kind of attractive.
Yeah,
Jacoby was also, I would say, is attractive.
yes, I just wouldn't classify them maybe as bombshells.
Yeah, that's fair.
But they were all very sweet in attitude and like otherwise. Like they were very respectful, very kind.
Yeah.
They were very good boys.
Yeah. All right, so now we pan to the boys entering Casa Amor, where they go absolutely feral looking at this villa.
It's Barbie Dreamhouse 2.0.
Yep. And so with Aaron, Miguel, and Kendall all
It's
chatting
the
together-
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Oh my god, it's the Mojo Dojo Casa house. Holy shit.
It's Barbie's dream house and the Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Oh no. And you have the arrival of all the Kens. Oh my god.
And Kenny is there.
So what you're saying is Love Island is actually the realistic Barbie universe.
Yes. And we even had a Kenny in Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Oh my god, we did. Stop.
I mean, it's the
We had Kenny and we had Kendall. Kendall.
Oh my god, I love this.
Oh my god, I can't. So anyway, Aaron, Miguel, and Kendall all chat. And Aaron believes that he and Kaylor have not been properly tested since they couldn't really take the time to get to know other people. And I disagree
Bullshit.
with that. Because was it not Aaron that actually got to go on dates?
Yes, and she had kissed 2 other men.
Yes.
They have tested their connection.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted... I will hold my opinions of Aaron until the end.
Yes. So we see 6 new bombshell ladies enter Casa
Stunning.
Amor. We have Destiny, Sierra, Sydney, Catherine, Dea, who immediately had all eyes on Kendall, and Daniela.
Cordell.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cordell. And Daniela. And those are our 6 new Casa Amor ladies. Aaron gets a text saying that the guys will also be having a pool party, so they can all get to know these new bombshells.
And they really are stunning.
They are.
They're gorgeous.
They are. They're very pretty. It's not. It's extra not fair.
It's extra not fair. As Leah said at the fire pit post Casa Amor, they got damn lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now we see the new men arrive to the villa. And we have Jacoby, Kane, Ignacio, Jalen, Josiah, and George. And I think
Is it-
George got a total of 2 minutes of screen time for the entire time.
Is it George or Jorge?
George. It was actually spelt like George.
Okay, because in my I questioned that because I watched with subtitles, and in my subtitles it was spelled Jorge.
Yeah, no. It was George with a G.
Okay. That's why I got confused because they were saying George on television, but my subtitles, my closed captioning was saying, was spelling it Jorge. So I was very confused.
He was also like white as day. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
why I was really confused.
Yeah.
What it was. Okay.
But, and also, it especially doesn't matter because, like I was saying before, I think George
2
got
seconds.
a total of 2 minutes of screen time the entire time he was
literally
in the villa.
forgot he existed until the very last day of Casa Amor.
Exactly. So, like I said, he extra doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The only thing he did was make Kaylor breakfast that one time.
That was the one and only time. I literally, that moment, I Snapchatted you. I'm like, he is a sweetheart, and I forgot he was here.
Uh-huh. So we go to the Casa Amor pool party, and just saying it right now, for these next few episodes, I'm basically just gonna compile like everything that happens in Casa Amor as one and then the villa as one.
Going back and forth
because
is
there's
so
so
hard.
much going back and forth. It's just it's a lot. So I'm not
so
gonna do
much.
that. So we'll start the Casa Amor pool party where we see Miguel and Sierra immediately hit it off in a chat. You know, he basically states that he was not fully invested in Leah, which I think we already kind of assumed because they had just coupled up 2 days before.
Coupled up for maybe 36 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anybody blames Miguel for that.
No.
We also knew he has fuckboy in his blood.
There are him and Rob.
And Kenny.
Him and Rob, and maybe Kenny. Their antics in Casa Amor, I did not hold against them because they had been in their couples for mere hours.
Yeah.
Right? And Rob is single. So, like, Rob could do whatever the fuck he wants. Miguel and Leah just got together. They didn't have an established baseline like the other couples do. So, like, whatever they got up to in Casa Amor, they were well within their rights to do. They could have probably done it a little more respectfully. Miguel I will say, Miguel moved less snaky than some of the other boys did. But them doing whatever the fuck they wanted, I don't think anybody really holds against them because they were barely coupled.
Yeah.
So, like, I was kind of enjoying seeing him talk to new girls and you know, testing it out because, again, him and Leah had, like, 4 conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
They were barely a couple. I really didn't classify them as couple.
But it's okay. These next few episodes, we're barely going to see much of Miguel at all.
There's no focus on Miguel.
Yeah.
Oh, or Kendall. So this is why, okay, we didn't really get to see how Kendall moved in Casa Amor because the focus was so on other people.
I think we did get to see enough of Kendall. However, I think it's because we only really saw him interacting mostly with the boys.
Well, that's my point is that, like, I am nervous that they didn't initially show us how he was interacting with the women because the focus was so heavily on Aaron and Cordell that what we saw of Kendall was merely goading and pushing and, you know, all of those things. And then he had that one conversation with a girl like, no one's really turning my head. This is the only one that's turning my head. And then we never saw anything come of that conversation. Like, I don't think we ever saw them speaking. And it makes me nervous that there are things that we did not see.
Well, maybe we'll find out on movie night.
But, I don't want to give Kendall a pat on the back for being good boy, you were respectful, because I feel like he probably wasn't.
I don't know.
I want to believe he was, but I don't have evidence.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out tonight. Daniela and Aaron, they immediately start hitting it off. You know, they kind of start going into some actual, like, substance level conversations where Daniela talks about the passing of her mom, that she is currently in school to be a vet. They're both vegan, apparently. So it kind of almost seems, and this is kind of the moment when I realize I don't think we got to experience that much of Aaron and Kaylor actually talking about things that they had in common. And so I had a blip of a moment where I was like, maybe they are kind of more of a match in this moment than he is with Kaylor. Mm-hmm. But we don't see much of that afterwards.
I know.
We see Cordell chat with, of course, Daya. Cordell is still thinking of Serena, but he doesn't want it to stop him from getting to know Daya. And I have my thoughts that I will say at a later episode point, but I won't say it right now. Kaylor is missing Aaron naturally at the Villa pool party. Nicole we see chatting with Kane. Kane was hesitant to talk to Nicole because apparently she looks like his ex. Which I understand. PTSD is PTSD. Janae seems to gravitate a little bit towards Josiah a little bit, except for the part where he says that he's single because he dated 2 girls at the same time.
Oh, she was immediately turned off. You saw the light dim in her eyes in that exact moment.
He made it so much worse because he went into detail about why he dated both of these 2 girls at the same time. And he said one was the intellectual connection while the other one was the physical. And it's like, no shit. It doesn't take a genius to know that that's why you dated these 2 girls at the same time. I feel like anytime there's like a cheater in a relationship with two women, that's usually the whole reason. One is for the physical part of it, and then the other one is for the intellectual connection, the part that actually fucking matters. So Josiah is just a giant walking red flag.
He shot himself in the foot.
Big
In
time.
that conversation. He could have ended it where he ended it and just said, I fucked up. I dated 2 girls at once. I realized my mistake, and I will never do it again. Except he went further to say, so I dated her for this, and shot himself right in the foot.
Yeah. Right.
Done. Donezo. Over.
But it doesn't stop Janae from entertaining him for the next few days.
Open-minded. Good for her.
Yeah, we'll see. We then see the Casa Amor night party. Not really much goes on there. The night kicks off with some fireworks. And the villa's just watching them in the distance like, what? They got fireworks?
I think that was the first time they realized that house was Casa Amor.
Or that they realized how close it was to each other. We'll talk about that later. But Rob pulls Destiny in for a chat. Destiny is also apparently into some toxic shit, which explains why she's into Rob. And then again, I don't think we see much of Destiny at all for the rest of the time at Casa.
No.
She probably muttered all of 5 words. We see the Villa night party, and Janae pulls Jacoby in for a chat, and apparently he's somebody that she would normally go with on a date with outside of this experience. And this is only the beginning of where we see like this little a little friendly competition between Jacoby and Josiah for Janae. Mm-hmm. So, Janae, you know what? You deserve it, girl.
She does. She's taking a lot of L's.
For her. Definitely deserved it.
My girl deserves someone to pick her first.
Yeah, for once.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that too later. I know. So both villas then play Spin the Bottle. Mm-hmm. I think everybody has played Spin the Bottle. One person.
I have never played Spin the Bottle.
I think I've played it years ago, but obviously many, many years ago.
I've never played Spin the Bottle. I had a very, very tame high school experience.
So with this Spin the Bottle game, one person spins the bottle, and the person it lands on has to pick a dare card. The Islander then must act out the dare. I'm sorry in advance. I tried so hard to keep up with these dares, and it was really difficult because they were moving at like lightning speed. So
Let's just say the entire game was just an excuse to make out with people.
Absolutely. This was like a whole orgy waiting to happen.
And it gets worse from there.
Yeah, so I did my best. Oh boy, I hope that this doesn't...
Oh no.
My grass is getting cut. So after Spin the Bottle, Kayla and Serena are missing their guys naturally. Serena is just dead set on wanting to still be with Cordell. And I think it goes back to when Cordell went on that date with Nicole, and she's starting to realize, like, okay, now there's a possibility that this guy could actually fall for somebody else, and now that makes me want him more. Mm-hmm. I've been very torn, and I know we'll get into it later. I've been very torn on how I feel about the Serena and Cordell in Casa situation.
Okay.
You know, like I feel so many different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't appreciate one of my biggest irks is the way that everyone else talks about Serena, in the narrative of Cordell deserves this, Cordell deserves better, Cordell this, totally completely disregarding, like, he's not owed anything.
No.
At all.
No.
And just because she's moving slowly does not mean that she does not like him any less than fucking Dea, who came in here with her panties already in a twist for him.
Yeah.
Like, that really irked me, and I think that's one of my biggest gripe with the Casa girls continuing is the way that they talk about the Villa girls.
Yeah.
And the lack of empathy and understanding, and like that whole narrative, even the guys were doing it, well, Cordell deserves this. He doesn't deserve shit. He's not entitled to anything with Serena that she does not deem time for.
Yeah. So after Spin the Bottle, we see Cordell and Dea having that chat where they have that first steamy makeout over the lip gloss, the one that we will see again later on.
He folded He folded, y'all, okay? He set his boundaries 12 hours ago, okay? He set his boundaries 12 hours ago, and he already folded.
Yeah. Daniela already pulls Aaron for a chat. Meanwhile, Kaylor's in the other side crying over missing him. Serena and Kaylor are not expecting Aaron to kiss anyone outside of a challenge. And Aaron is clearly into Daniela, but struggling with himself, trying not to completely jump her bones. And then that's it. The episode ends. So now we're on episode 20. We're actually trucking through these. I'm impressed with us so far. We have a few more episodes left to go. We're picking up from Aaron and Daniela's chat, where Aaron thinks that wearing clothes in bed is a way of setting a boundary. Spoiler, he still barely wore clothes in bed with her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You said it before. I was leaning in to say it, and you... right there.
Yep.
I'm not going to cuddle her. I'm not going to wear... Immediately shirtless and snuggling.
And just, he has to like fight himself not to make out with her every second that he's around her.
It's gross.
It's so disgusting.
It's disgusting. And I hate this. It was a mistake. It was an accident. It wasn't. It was a choice. A choice you made repeatedly for 4 days.
It's like Scandal all over again.
It really irks me when guys say that. Like, if you wanted to kiss her, just outright tell me that you wanted to kiss her. Don't say it was a mistake. Don't say it was an accident, because it wasn't. You made the choice.
Like, you had feelings.
It like you
They
said,
were feelings of lust.
it was the same thing as Scandival with the fucking, like, well, she took her clothes off in my pool. What was I gonna do? Like, you're not a mindless being. Like, that does not have the cognitive ability to say no.
Right.
If you care so deeply about this other person.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So back at the villa, we see Leah and Ignacio chat, and this was fucking hilarious. First of all, okay, Ignacio, he gives crazy eyes.
He does.
He gives like really scary looking crazy eyes. He
Yeah.
seems really sweet. But Leah gives Ignacio the boop, but in the form of a handgun shape. And he clocks that right away, because remember, they're watching before they ever go into the villa. They're all watching everything that's unfolding.
Yeah.
Ignacio feels the most comfortable around Leah, so they have like a little steamy makeout. But I could just tell that Leah's like not at all into him.
No, she likes Miguel.
But she's trying.
She is.
I'll give her credit. She's trying. She is still thinking about Miguel. And then she almost fucking boops him again. And he catches her right away. Like, she goes up to do that. Kaylor and Serena then make the decision at this point that they want to sleep in soul ties, so they don't have to actually share a bed with these men, because again, they know what boundaries are and they respect them.
Yeah, you know what though? I will say they could have though, because Nicole
McKen.
Nicole did share a bed with a couple guys, but in a very respectful, like, we set up the pillow wall.
Yeah.
And Serena and Kaylor could have done that if they wanted to.
Yeah.
There was a way to do it respectfully, but I also understood their position of, like, because they're way more deep in their couplings than Nicole was with Kendall at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I understood they were almost closed off at that point. They were like 2 steps away. If Casa had happened any later, I think they would have had the closed off conversation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The guys were waiting for Casa, though.
They were absolutely waiting for Casa.
And then this is when we see Leah talk to Nicole, and she's already out on Ignacio. She goes, "Bitch, I jumped the gun. I am not into it. I miss Miguel."
Yeah.
That's it.
All 6 of the girls the entire time were very, I miss the boys.
I think this was around the decision that I was just like, I can't. Well, actually, I do it for a little bit longer, but I hated having to keep up with like the flipping back and forth.
There was no point in keeping up with the villa, because it was very obvious after night 1 that none of the girls were going, except Liv. Liv is the only one that I was keeping up with the villa content for, because it was very obvious 12 hours into this new setup that the girls were not going to pick anyone else.
Yeah. I think that they also intentionally wanted to show more of like Casa anyway, because they knew we were going to watch these boys misbehave. Yeah. So back at Casa, Aaron and Rob are chatting about how conflicted Aaron is with his feelings. Rob tells Aaron to see Casa through, but not to do anything stupid. And in that moment, I thought it was because he was being a supportive friend, but later I will be proven wrong.
Yeah. I know I had that moment of, Rob has been here before, right? He knows the aftermath of Casa Amor. He knows what comes after and during Casa Amor. So I had the same thought of, oh, he's being a good friend. It's I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. He was, like, I saw that as, because those two are best bros, right? He was like, don't fuck up, because
anything stupid.
I know how it goes, and it felt like a very, bro,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Watch out.
But at the time, it really did feel like he was like, dude. And I appreciated he was like, don't break her heart. Don't do anything to hurt Kaylor's feelings.
Yep. We then see Cordell express some guilt over making out with Dea, but don't worry, it doesn't stop him from doing it again. And they share a bed, and they're cuddling, and they're getting a little too comfortable, as is Aaron and Daniela.
Literally, he's like, I feel so bad about making out with Dea. I have so much guilt. And then I'm gonna go sit by the pool and make out with her.
Yeah. Literally.
Like 2 seconds after this conference. Like, just give it up, bro. Give it up.
So now we're in day 18. So at the villa, Kaylor is nearly spiraling over what Aaron is doing, and I think that's her gut telling her, bitch, watch out.
We were saying that on the subreddit, that like it was that like woman's intuition of like her body was literally, because she kept saying, I'm so scared he's gonna bring someone back. I'm so scared what if he brings someone back? I don't know what I'm gonna do. And you're watching it and you're like,
Fuck.
your subconscious is telling you something.
Yeah. Serena at this point is now also spiraling.
Yeah.
And everybody is really underestimating Cordell and his ability to fuck up in these moments.
He had us fooled. That's why. Homeboy had me fooled. He had me fooled for 18 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Remember when we were saying justice for Cordell?
I take it all back.
Take it all back.
No justice for Cordell.
None.
Nothing for Cordell. Nothing except a suitcase and a plane ticket home for Cordell.
Yep. Nicole and Nicole and Kane chat. They have more friendship vibes. She's being fully loyal to Kendall at this point.
Yes.
She's not into any of these guys.
She's not. No. Which I just watching gather my thoughts. It almost made it more infuriating watching Casa happen with this way the girls were moving in the villa, because they were moving in such a respectful and kind way while still testing their connections and exploring other guys. And just to see the two polar opposites of how they were moving just like infuriated me more, especially when they come back and they like double down on what they did. And I'm like, well, what was I supposed to do? Not that.
Yeah.
But look at what your girls did.
Yep. So we now are at Casa, and I don't know if you caught this.
Probably
I
not.
sure the fuck did.
God, you did.
Girlies are all getting ready, and Daniela says that Aaron tried getting in her pants that night. He was trying to fuck.
Oh.
I clocked that so fucking quick, and I'm like, she did not just say that. Yeah.
I think I was so focused on Cordell's bitch ass that I kind of didn't.
It was one of those, like, if you blink, you could miss it kind of moments, because it happened so fast.
You know what, though? You're right, because later on, and I ended up bringing it up to you, that we were talking about what Serena and Cordell had done physically, and I was like, oh, at one point in this episode, she had said that they had crossed that line. But it was another blink and you miss it. But Homeboy didn't last 24 hours before he... Ooh!
Yeah. Cordell and Dea chat while the rest of the guys watch. I think this is when they were sitting by the pool.
This was actually really funny.
And all the guys are seeing that, she likes him. She's giving me those, like, googly eyes. Just so
This was actually really funny. My favorite part of the episodes are when the boys sit together or the girls sit together and they watch other things and have their little like giddy comment. Like I love it so much.
Yeah.
It simmers my anger for like a hot second.
Yeah.
Because you're like, look at these cute little dummies.
Right.
Sitting there gossiping like little old ladies. And then things happen. You're like, wait, fuck you.
Yeah. Wait, I'm mad at you.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, so going back to what we were saying before, this is where we see Sierra and Kendall having a chat.
Okay, yes.
So, like, I know we didn't see much of it, but we at least got some of it.
Yes.
And they seem to have some of the same values and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't care because I want Nicole.
Yeah, he very quickly. It's like I think he was kind of like he spent that first night talking to we probably didn't see it, but and then it was very obvious. Even before going into Casa, I had a very strong feeling that they would come back to each other because their connection has already been tested.
Yeah.
And, like, at this point, I couldn't see them picking anyone else. And watching him in Casa, it very much felt like he was just not into it. He was just like,
I'm just here for the funsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was there to play the game.
Yeah. And then we see Aaron and Daniela chat, and I think this is the one where they make out. And
Yes.
he's, like, lusting for her so hard. He's rubbing her feet. The guys are all watching from the distance. They're very touchy-feely with each other. This is a moment that, again, we're going to watch again later. But it's
Oh yeah, and we
annoying.
totally have it out of context later.
And then we see Kendall talking to Daniela, and Kendall's reassuring her, "Oh, he likes you. Like I see him like acting so happy with you or whatever." And Daniela flat out says that his words and actions are saying two different things. That he wants to be with Kaylor, he likes Kaylor, he wants to respect their relationship. But then his actions, by grabbing up all on her and making out with her and cuddling with her in bed, obviously tells a different story.
Because he wanted to have his cake and eat it too.
As most men do.
Yeah. No, that was one with Kendall. That moment with Kendall was one of the ones that led me to the theory I posted on our Instagram. Mm-hmm. Because he knew going into, I said this in the video, going into Casa Amor, if you ranked the couples, him and Nicole were number 3, right? And it's very obvious right away in Casa Amor that Cordell and Aaron would be easily influenced by these other ladies. So Kendall sat there for 4 days, encouraging them to do this, do this, do that, do this, so that he comes out, as proven later, as him and Nicole is the number 1 couple. Because
it's a fair theory.
He is playing the game. And I've never watched the show before, but he played it so smoothly, that entire Casa. Well, it was fantastic, amazing.
It's because the show does a really good job at making you forget that they're playing this game.
I did.
Later.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And then, like, up until, I think, like, this day in Casa Amor, like, I kind of had forgotten. And then I'm hearing what he's saying to the guys, and I'm like, oh, holy shit. Like, a light bulb goes out. It's like, there's money at the end of this.
Uh-huh.
Homeboy knows exactly what... He's not dumb.
Yep.
Like, Kendall's not dumb. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to be proven right in, like, 2 weeks.
Yep. So now we see the Casa versus the Villa play a game of raunchy races. This is the game that made me go, oh, fuck. This is, like, becoming an orgy now.
This was too much.
Yes.
There's been a couple games that I've been like, what was the point of this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I've like fast forwarded it through because it's like too much for television.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the show's rated M.
Yeah.
Right? There is a warning on it, but like even it is too much for me. Like there are some things that should not be put on national television, and this game was one of them.
Yeah. I won't even go through every individual task, but both
the
villas,
game was making out. Okay, that's it. That was the game.
Both villas get a text with a task. They then have to act out the task. And I believe Casa won that game. Yeah, they won that game. Casa did.
Casa won the first game. Raunchy Racers. Villa wins.
No, the Casa won Raunchy Races.
Is this not Raunchy Races?
This is Raunchy Races.
When did the Villa won something? Because that's how we get the video.
You're skipping ahead.
Am I?
Yes.
There was more games than this one?
Yes. Remember they had Spin the Bottle, and now they're playing Raunchy Races?
Yes. I Spin the Bottle, Casa won, and the Villa won this one, right?
No.
There's another game after this?
Yes, my love.
Oh my god.
I don't think there was a winner for Spin the Bottle. That was just a game to get.
Okay. I'm getting confusion. There's so many things.
I know. I got this.
I know you do. I don't know why I'm questioning you.
Back at Casa, we see Aaron and Daniela go off for a private chat. He's gushing about Daniela in his confessional.
This
he really
is,
likes her, and it's only been 2 days.
This is when they're sitting on the circle couch.
I think so.
Right. This is the Casa soul ties.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really even gotten to take the time to really look at each room. I feel like we don't see a lot of these rooms.
No, but like I made that connection pretty early on because it's circular and it's like where they were going to have these deep conversations. I was like, okay, this is what they consider soul ties.
Mm-hmm. Back at the villa, Kaylor's being the hype woman for the rest of the night because she's like, we can't win, we can't lose. We're winners going forward.
Yeah.
You know, it's cute. Kaylor chats with Jalen, and this is where we're starting to get some hope, like, oh, okay, now she's finally starting to play the field a little bit.
Yeah.
They seem to have, like, sexual chemistry, it seems.
Do they?
Kind of, sort of. But again,
really
she's still being sad girl about Aaron.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends.
Yeah.
So now we're on episode 21, which takes place after the raunchy races.
Okay.
This is when Kendall is basically saying that, you know, Cordell he's seeing a whole new side of Cordell. Something that
we're
he
all
hasn't really
seeing a whole
before.
new side of Cordell.
Yes. And listen, you know what? This is where I become very torn. Because on the one hand, right, obviously he's put all this time and effort into trying to win over Serena, right? And they have a really great relationship. And I side with Serena in the sense that, like, he's obviously being very disrespectful to her. But then there's the other side of it where I'm like, okay, well, yes, they've taken things very slow. Yes, some people are more physical beings than others. And I don't want to, like, slut shame either, but I will. It's very obvious that Cordell is so drawn to Dea because she's giving him that ass. And that's basically what he wanted from Serena this whole time. He wanted the physical aspect of it. And that's all we're seeing Dea give him. And it's like Dea has been watching all, like, their whole relationship build from the sideline. And she's like, oh, sick. You mean all I have to do is touch him? That's easy. I can do that. And that's where my feelings are on the whole Casa situation. And it's like you could tell though they have more of like a physical chemistry, but Serena and him probably have the friendship and intellect, the platonic.
I mean, listen,
chemistry.
I don't know that. Spoiler alert.
That fight on the dock was passionate as fuck.
I want to know what they talked about.
Their fight last night was straight out of a fucking, like, romance movie. Like, that was the most passionate we have ever seen them. And, like, I was ready for them to start angrily making out with each other.
Yeah. She's still, so at this point now, after raunchy races, Serena's still spiraling over what he's doing with Leah.
Can I add my extra context here?
Ooh, what's extra context?
Okay, so, before the Casa Amor, she gave him her ring to wear.
Oh, I did have that note in there, yes.
And he gave her either a jacket or a shirt. So things were exchanged. Words were said we did not see. And physical things happened before Casa Amor that we also did not see. And so I think that adds another layer of, like, hurt and betrayal and, like, gross disrespect. Because he got what he wanted from Serena. She did it.
Yep.
She caved. You got it right before you left. And now you're in here playing like this while wearing her ring on your fucking finger. It is there in every scene. He has it on. And, like, I didn't realize that happened until we were perusing. I was, chit-chatting post-episode in the episode discussion, and someone had said it, and I was like, no fucking shit. And I think at some point he says, they talk about how he's got the ring on his finger, and I think one of the boys tells him to take it off, something like that. And, like, the fact that they exchanged things like that and had a conversation before he left, and they had been physical before they left, and now he's moving like this, like...
It's trash bag behavior.
I can never see him in a good light ever again. It's going to take a lot for me to, like, look at Cordell like not a red flag.
Yeah.
Like a piece of garbage.
Yeah. Sierra and Miguel showing that they have zero substance when they talk. They just
Zero.
talk until they make out.
Yep.
Rob is showing Sydney a bunch, like a bug, and trying to win her over like that. It doesn't work.
It is, okay, watching him with bugs, though, like, and listen, I'm not a Rob fan, but watching him with bugs is so cute. It's like a toddler with his favorite toy. Look
Yes.
at my bug.
Have you gone through his Instagram at all yet?
No.
It's actually kind of fun to watch. His Instagram is literally all just him fucking around with snakes and bugs.
That's so cute. I know he's not from Florida, but it's giving Florida boy.
I mean, like I said, Alabama's only right next door.
It's next door.
It's right next door, so you might as well be.
It's really cute. It's very inner child of him to be like, look at my bug.
Right. Yeah, it is very wholesome, I will say.
Yeah.
Cordell and Dea chat again. They're very flirty. He's making that, again, he's confusing his physical connection with her with actual feelings.
Are we? Did the thing happen yet?
I don't think so, but it's about to.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it is about to. It is currently my second note in day 19.
Okay, here we go.
I hate, and this is when I stopped keeping track of what's happening in Casa, what's happening in the villa. If you know who I'm talking about, you can assume where we are at this point. But this is where I go. I have a note here saying, I hate hearing Janae tell Kaylor that Aaron is back at Casa feeling guilty for kissing other girls in challenges when she has no idea what's going on there. It is tough.
It is, but I think it's because they have this idea of who Aaron is, and they have seen them for a month now interact together. And I mean, honestly, I would say the same thing. I'd be like, girl, there's no fucking way. Right?
Maybe I'm too much of a pessimist. And if that were me in that situation, I would have just been like, I would have taken the Leah route and just be like, I know he's doing some fucked up shit there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, too, it's like they're seeing how upset she is. And it's like, rather than add fuel to the fire.
That's true.
And like I mean, even I thought he would behave differently in Casa more. Like,
I'm a pessimist. I just assume all guys are going to fuck up.
This is why we make such a great team, because you're a pessimist, I'm over here being optimistic and like a hopeless romantic. Like, they're gonna be fine. You're like, bitch, no.
I'm just scorned as fuck. I'm so jaded by my own hurt.
I know.
That I'm just like,
It's okay.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, girl.
Look, see, this is why you're my bestie, because you bring me back down to earth.
The fire and ice.
Yes. No, but like, it was, I mean, they were doing it with Serena too, right? They're like, it's gonna be okay. Like, because they thought, I mean, I thought too, that he would behave the way Kendall had behaved. You could test your connection, you could talk to other girls, but you don't need to kiss outside of challenges. Kendall.
You don't need to break that physical barrier.
Kendall behaved very respectfully. In regards to his partnership, not in regards to anyone else's, but in regards to his own coupling with Nicole, he was very respectful.
Yes.
And there was no reason that the other boys couldn't behave the exact same way.
Which brings me to my next note, which we're going to see again later. But Cordell and Day are basically dry fucking in the bed.
They could tell me they
in
weren't.
plain sight of other people. Because I saw somebody's arm in frame.
They could tell me that they were not till they're blue in the fucking face.
They were.
There is no reason for them to be moving that way, sitting that way, anything other than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that they're even trying to gaslight her like this is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I saw it, right? And it sucks too, because we all saw that in the promo, and we're all thinking, because they did it with Nicole, she's crying in a promo, and then you find out it was not tears of sadness, it was tears of joy, but they edited it to look like tears of sadness.
Yep.
Right? So that's why I went into this so hopeful. I was like, no, that's not what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's not what it's going to be. And then this is like the one time the editors were like, no, no.
But wait,
It was exactly what you thought it was.
Both Kenny and Janae are telling their respective groups, because obviously we get the flip back and forth, that they have been thinking about each other. We see Aaron bring Danielle breakfast, which gross, vomiting everywhere.
Disgusting.
Also, this is when we realize, oh shit, it's the 4th of July in Fiji.
I mean, it wasn't.
Well, it was, because remember, Fiji is 16 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, but I think they record these episodes a couple days behind us. Like, there's no way with
I don't
the
think
voiceover.
so.
There's no way with the voiceover and the editing that they push that shit out in 24 hours.
Maybe, I don't know, because again, like I said, I think having that time difference does help, because they're
Yeah.
already living like a full day ahead.
I guess. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how they're able. There has to be at least 2 days between what we see and what happens.
And then remember, they have 2 days off during the week. They have Wednesdays and Saturdays because Saturdays are after Sundays.
No, I know. I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around. There has to be at least 24 hours between each episode.
Maybe, I don't know, but like I said, they're already 1 full day ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So let's see what time is it now in Fiji. Keep going. I'm gonna look up what time it is in Fiji.
I was thinking to myself how meta it feels to be like watching these people kind of celebrate the 4th of July. And they do the most disgusting challenge I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've watched the challenge, okay? Anybody who has ever watched
Fear
the challenge...
Factor?
I was not a Fear Factor girly, but the challenge was
either,
disgusting with their food challenges. This was worse than that.
We lived through the 2000s game shows, okay? We've seen some disgusting ass shit.
These people were bird feeding each other through the mouth.
Literally the grossest thing I've ever heard. By the way, it is 8:25 in the morning in Fiji right now.
Yeah.
And it is currently 4:25 here.
Yeah, 16 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy. It is the morning time. Good morning, Fiji.
Yes, good morning, Fiji. So each islander, the islanders line up, right? They get into a line, single file line. The islander at the end of the line spits out food into an empty bowl until the food reaches a marker line. It's so fucking
I'm not
disgusting.
gonna lie, I didn't watch. I fast forwarded through this.
I regret watching, but the Villa won this one.
Yes,
so.
okay, that's right. Okay, see, now this is, I think that I blocked this out because it was so gross. I think I watched like 2 seconds of it and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's so gross.
I even remember where I was when I was watching this, and thank God I was in the middle of walking out of work. I was at the end of my shift. Because, you know, like, Love Island actually starts 20 minutes early. People are only just finding this out now, by the way, but we've known this since episode 1.
Yes, I try and get to it 20 minutes early.
Like, that, soon as the clock strikes, like, 8:37, it's on Peacock, and I'm sitting at my desk waiting for my shift to end, and I'm walking out when this was happening.
I love that for you.
Because my shift sometimes would end at, like, 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
so I'm just like... Oh, good. I've already seen the
And
first,
then you just like listen
half
to
hour.
it as a podcast on your drive home.
And then I'll go home and I'll rewatch the parts that I couldn't take notes of because obviously I'm not going to take notes and drive. But yeah, because then I'll make Max watch the rest of that with me. But after the challenges, we see the Villa parties, each respective Villa party.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Liv is giving Kaylor the ultimate pep talk as the bestie does.
Everyone deserves a Liv in their life.
Yeah. Cordell continues to show us why Serena was waiting to be physical with him.
It really just hurts my heart that she finally gave in for him to turn around and do this.
It's gross.
It's so gross.
Kenny is chatting with Catherine for the first time. And my note on Catherine is that she's 24 years old, has not been to college, looking for something that motivates her, but also wants to settle down. All a recipe of just not good. Not that she's a bad person, seemingly, but, like, she's clearly young, she's naive, she hasn't really had much exposure into the world,
No.
she has no idea what motivates her.
It feels like she hasn't grown up yet.
No, and yet she wants to be on a reality show to find love, when she doesn't even seem to have the slightest clue of what love is.
You don't have the slightest clue of how I don't think she has a slightest idea of how anything works.
Yeah. And it's like, you can be 24 years old, right, and have an idea of how life goes,
Yeah.
but... And not to say that, like, maybe she doesn't, but, like, if you haven't gone to college, you don't know what motivates you. You don't have, like, I'm sorry, what is there to you? What in this life do you know?
Yeah, like, there's no, you don't have to go to college, right?
Right.
Like, to not have any direction of what you want to do in life at that point, like, no ideas, it's weird.
She just wants to be a reality star and an influencer. Like, that's what it tells me.
Grow up.
Yeah. Sorry, girlie. Kaylor gets a text. Casa sent them the story. And we see the videos of Aaron gearing up for his makeout with Daniela, and we see Dea dry fucking Cordell in the bed. And these girls are broken. Broken.
You know what hurts too is that Kaylor didn't even see the actual. They
cut it right before the
cut it
actual
right
makeout,
before he made out,
which is evil of production to
evil
do.
because come later on, they lie to her face about it. And now in like 2 days when we get movie night, she's going to be devastated all over again.
She's going to be crushed.
Yes.
So the episode ends there. We're now going into episode 22. We just got 2 more episodes left to recap here, and we're done. Episode 22, we're picking up right from when the girls saw the video. And of course, Nicole and Liv are there for Kaylor, and then we have Janae and Leah being there for Serena. So like the girls are all like divide and conquer. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get these girls back going.
Yep.
And again, I said Serena's using this as a lesson to the guys. This is why she goes so slow.
Yeah.
This is why she's a slow burner. And nobody can blame her for that.
No. That is exactly why slow burners do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That shit right there.
Yep, because guys are fucking disgusting.
Not mine, though. I'll have to show you the text he sent me later. He's a fucking unicorn.
Okay, mine's not either, but...
No, we got good ones here.
But
Ignoring that.
But I give him daily lessons all the time. I'm less he watches the show with me at this point. So he's always... His commentary watching the show is hilarious because every time the guys, for the most part, open their mouths, he's like, "You dumb motherfucker."
I love Maxie. We stand Max.
He's team Kaylor and Serena.
As one should be. If he wasn't, I would have questions. I'd march my ass upstairs right now and be like, the fuck?
I know. Serena and Kaylor also seem to be handling the situation very differently,
Yeah.
I've noticed. Kaylor immediately goes into breakdown mode, whereas Serena is giving right now it's giving I still need to process everything and laugh about it so I don't cry.
You know what's really funny watching this? I was, it is exactly how me and Caroline process things. And it just cracked me up because I literally Snapchatted her. I'm like, girl, this us. Because she'd be Serena, right? Mm-hmm. And we all know I'm going to be Kaylor in this situation. My ass is sobbing on the floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so, I've never seen a better representation of us on television in my life.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, backtracking for a second, right?
Uh-huh.
When they see the video and Kaylor's out there screaming, fuck you, Aaron, fuck you, Aaron. You kind of hear the cast of people can hear them screaming. Mm-hmm. And Aaron knew that he heard Kaylor screaming. Which brings us to now, and we have Aaron and Rob sitting down, and he's all acting like he's so guilty about how he was doing doing Kaylor so dirty, and this, that, and the other. And this leads us to Rob essentially trying to get Aaron's permission to shoot his shot. And now at this point, we all know what's gonna come.
I'm fully convinced that had he not heard Kaylor screaming, that he would have brought Daniela back.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Because now his balls suddenly shriveled back into his body, and he's like, oh no,
and you're telling me that of all the girls Rob was talking to during Casa Amor, this is the one he brings back.
Of all of them.
Of all of them?
He would have come back single if production didn't have a hand at this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what he keeps proving my theory. Mm-hmm. Because of all the girls he was talking to, that was not who I expected. I expected the blonde one.
I have another theory too on this.
Okay.
Movie night.
Yeah.
We see Aaron and Rob have a conversation about having Rob bring Daniela back so that she can go back to the villa.
I agree with you.
Imagine they co-conspired this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would also...
There's also no way that they did not have some sort of conversation off camera or in a way that we do not see yet of what do we tell her? What do we say? What are we lying about? Because their stories matched up way too well.
I also don't think there is such thing as off camera there.
No. So... we probably just didn't see it.
We might not. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a chance that will come out at movie night.
Somebody in a Reddit comment said that they must have stripped naked to film that because there's no way that it didn't happen on camera. And the only way that we wouldn't have seen it was if they were naked. Maybe. Or in the shower.
Maybe. Listen, we know that Aaron loves being in the shower, so.
But they had to have some kind of conversation. There's no way that they didn't plan some kind of lie, a grand, this is what we're telling her. Yeah. Because all three of their stories just matched up way too well for it to be not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. So Aaron then pulls Daniela for the chat where he kind of just lets her down easily, that he wants to see things through with Kaylor. She takes it like a champ. And then, again, he tries to pull her in for a kiss. And then he's like, oh no. Like, he had to stop himself because the man
disgusting.
just can't help himself.
It's gross.
Can't fucking help himself.
Remember weeks ago when we were watching the first couple episodes and my brother came upstairs and clocked Aaron as a fuckboy and we
there
thought
it
it was
is.
hilarious and I was like, no. He knew the whole time.
I want to go back to my notes from episode 1 and see what I said about Aaron.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I was in that direction of
Yeah.
like he gives off fuckboy tendencies.
Well, we were right.
Yes. The boys are asking Kaylor how she feels about the situation, and I thought this was a really cute scene. Like they were all just being there for her and whatnot.
I felt so bad for the boys, the Villa boys, because they got that video and all hell broke loose and they were all just left sitting at the table like, what do we do? And then what's his name is in the kitchen like making grilled cheese and he's just like, they're all were just standing, the girls are screeching, they're running around the villa, there's tears, there's anger, there's everyone is disgusted and the boys are just,
Like that meme I made. They're like, I'm gonna put memes on my face.
yeah, they're literally just, what do we do? And then we all just have to go to bed.
Oh my god, so awkward for them.
I felt so bad for them. I felt bad for I felt bad for them the entire time because they were in it to lose the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time.
I think at that point they knew too.
They weren't given a
gonna
fair
make it.
they weren't given a fair shake at all.
No.
I mean the girls tried, but I think honestly I feel like they did Casa too late. Almost. Because like, I
think that was
don't know, unless the point of Casa is like the Casa people are not supposed to come back.
Well, I think the whole point is, right, they want these couples to get comfortable in their setting with
And
each
then-
other, and then
Okay.
right when they get comfortable,
Yeah.
let's fuck them up.
I just felt so bad for the boys because they went in there so genuinely wanting to meet the girls and like, you know, form connections and they just had no chance in hell.
They had no riz.
They had nothing. And then the video comes and it was over for them after that.
So we then are back at Casa. We see Rob pull Daniela in for a chat so he can shoot his shot, and he's giving her the fuck me eyes the whole time.
Homegirl just wants to be on television and and I hate saying this as a ride or die feminist. I really hate saying this especially. She will fuck whoever she needs to get in that goddamn house.
Maybe.
I don't know.
She did say in her confessional that Rob was the one that she wanted to get with that whole time, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know. The way that she's always got this like smile on her face and like it's just she reminds me of those girls that feel like they're hot shit because they stole somebody else's man.
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh boy. That shit-eating grin.
You know what I mean? Like that's and the way that they act when they end up in the villa later. Like she literally is out here like I'm not like other girls. I stole her man.
Yeah. Again, we're going to support my theory here about Aaron and Rob planning on bringing Daniela back because
Correct.
when he sits down with Kendall and they talk about Aaron breaking up with Daniela, Aaron says to Kendall that he wished Daniela could go back to the villa so she could meet someone.
She just met Rob. Take your dick out of her, bro. You're done.
And then I guess we see Miguel chat again. I was like, I forgot Miguel was here.
Kenny, Miguel, Kendall, those three of them, I was like, what?
All he does is tell the guys, I think it was Kendall and Rob, that he was just analyzing his feelings by how his dick feels. He's like, one minute I like these women, but it's honestly just because my dick is hard.
Like I you know what?
I respect the honesty. But
Yes,
I guess.
yes. That's the thing with Miguel is that we've known from the start that he's a fuckboy, and he's not trying to hide that fact. And I think that's like his redeeming quality is that like we absolutely know exactly what he's gonna do, and there's no surprise with him.
Yeah. So we have Janae evaluating her options: either stay with Kenny or choose either Josiah or Jacoby. She'll get none.
Nothing.
We see Kenny chatting with Sydney, and I, in this moment, thought that Kenny was not going to bring anybody back.
I have a theory on this.
Let me just see where we are right now. What's the theory?
He was gonna come back alone, and the boys pressured him to bring someone back on the off chance
Maybe.
that Janae picked somebody else.
Maybe.
It was a bro, save yourself. She might end up with somebody. Bring somebody back just in case.
Yep.
Because he didn't have the entire time at Casa, there was not one person that you saw him interact with that it felt like he genuinely would have brought back. Even that final conversation before they come back where he did kiss what's her face. Like you're watching it and I'm like, he's gonna come back single. There's no spark here. There's nothing.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, and it goes into my theory of Kendall playing the game, that I guarantee you he was over here like, bro, like, what if she chooses somebody else, you come back single? Like, just bring her back just in case.
You don't have to explore things with her after.
Because, and then I feel like I'm proven right by what he says at the fucking fire pit when he comes back.
We'll get into that.
But yeah, that's my theory, that the boys pressured him to bring somebody back.
Yep. So at bedtime, Liv, Kayla, Serena, and Leah all sleep outside.
Best
Aaron actually even slept alone that night as well. Not that it fucking matters.
I hope he got bit by a mosquito on his ass.
So now we're going into day 20. And today is reunion day. And the Casa guys are fucking scared.
I've never seen the boys shaking in their boots more.
Which is crazy, right? Like, oh, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Wow!
Who would have thought?
Shocker!
This is when George makes Kayla breakfast, and we finally remember that George is even there to begin with.
Yes. It was so sweet. She's so upset and devastated, and George is like, I'm gonna make her breakfast. And he goes, here, Kayla, this is for you.
It was really sweet.
Yeah.
Catherine chats with Kenny, and then they kiss. And this is when we start to see him become a little bit more torn on what he's gonna do. Jalen pulls Kayla in for a chat, and then we see Liv and Nicole being spy girls.
That was the highlight of that whole scene.
It was also really sad to watch because you can see how hard he was trying to flirt, and then he tries to kiss her, but then she's like, boop.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
thank you.
I was a little miffed at him because she says not yet, and then he goes back in. Like, bro, she said no.
Mm-hmm.
Put your mouth away.
I know. He was not reading the room very well.
No.
But, listen, it's the last day, shoot your shot.
Yeah, but if the girl says no, back the fuck off.
True. So now Miguel and Leah get the text. Get ready for the recoupling.
Yikes.
It's now about to heat up.
Yeah.
We are turning on the burner.
Yep.
We are setting the water in the pot, and
Yep.
we are putting it on the stove.
Yes.
In comes Ariana in her lime green, almost kind of reunion dress.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Somebody said that, I forgot where, but probably on Instagram. But yeah,
Stunning.
it resembles a lot much like her most recent reunion dress.
Stunning.
Stunning. So now how they go about this recoupling. So the guys are lined up next to Ariana. The girls will decide if they want to stay in their current coupling, if they want to recouple with any of the other guys, or if they want to stay single. So the boys have basically already made their choices at Casa.
Mm-hmm.
And now we just have to wait and see if they're going to come in either alone or with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
Liv, being the only person to choose between any of these guys because she's already single, chooses to couple up with Kane.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
No.
Nicole stays with Kendall. They bring Kendall in by himself, which we knew. So they get to stay together. Leah chooses to stay with Miguel. Miguel chooses to come in with Sierra. We have the first of the Casa new girls.
Mm-hmm.
Leah is now at this point single and vulnerable. And now we have to deal with the confrontation that it comes with afterwards. And Miguel basically says he's still open, he's not in a relationship, and Ariana's just looking at him like,
You're literally coupled up right now.
okay, but you chose to stick with Sierra.
Yeah.
She's here. You brought her back. And he's like, oh no.
No, but I want to keep my options open.
I feel like at this point, this is the moment that regret. You start to see regret all over Sierra's face, and she's like, "Fuck, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
What have I done?"
Mm-hmm.
But made it in the villa though. Janae chooses to stick with Kenny. I was a little surprised by that. I was kind of hoping that she would choose Jacoby.
Yeah?
I was.
I was rooting for her and Kenny.
I know. Well, doesn't matter because Kenny came in with Catherine, which was extra confusing.
Yeah, because she then is upset, rightfully so, and goes, whose connection's stronger? And he straight up goes, well, ours is.
Which is crazy. Then why did you bring her back?
Because the boys pressured him to.
Somebody pressured him to.
He was pressured into it. I guarantee you, the boys were in his ear going, well, what if she picks somebody? You don't want to go back alone. You don't want that on your, right? They're too prideful.
God forbid he'd come back single.
That's what I'm saying.
Stupid. Kaylor chooses to stay single in a move where we were like, yes, you go.
Oh, I was so proud of her. Yeah.
Aaron comes in by himself. You see that smile all over Kaylor's face. They're both single because Kaylor chose to be single.
My favorite part is him coming in through the walkway, seeing her standing alone, and having a, fuck yeah! Oh my god, my girl's singing.
He's like,
yeah! And then the boys are like, no!
Today's like, not yet.
No.
Not yet. She calls out Kendall as well for encouraging the behavior because you see it in the video.
Yeah.
And Ariana has Liv speak up for Kaylor.
Yeah.
If you notice. She speaks on her. Kaylor's got a lot of things going for herself. How dare you treat her this way? Pretty much. Aaron tries to sit right next to Kaylor in between her and the girls. And Ariana's like, nope.
Maybe you should switch.
Switch seats.
Yeah. Oh my god, it broke my heart when Kaylor sat down and she goes to girls, did I do good? Was that good?
Who?
Kaylor.
Oh, yeah.
Was that okay?
I know.
And I was like, little baby.
And in a weird twist, before even having Serena go up and decide, they have Rob come in with Daniela.
Yes.
And Kaylor didn't even realize it was her. She's sitting there clapping.
So excited. Listen, she is the sweetest thing in the universe because she is so heartbroken and she doesn't even realize that is the girl in the video.
And everybody else is like, isn't that Daniela?
Yeah, she's like, oh, is it? Because she was just so happy for her friend.
Yeah. Which is extra upsetting.
Yes.
So I guess production was just like, let's just get this part out of the way since Kaylor and Aaron just went to show that y'all are not out of the water yet.
And the girls are quick, Rob, we got a video.
Yeah. We got a video. What are you doing with her? Why did you bring her back when she was canoodling with Aaron?
Yeah. And then they go, well, it's out of context. We'll talk about it after.
It was a 2-minute clip. Boy, how do you know how long the video is? How do you know?
Exactly.
Serena chooses to be single, and of course, we all saw it coming. Cordell comes in with Daya.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully, she is also pissed.
As she should be.
Doing that really hot thing where she's like licking her middle finger and she's patting her ass with it. And
boss babe energy.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic shit.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yep.
So now we're on episode 23.
Last night.
We're picking right back up after the recoupling.
Mm-hmm.
Janae goes into full breakdown mode right away. Which,
poor thing.
I don't blame her. Because now I don't think it's just because of Kenny coming with somebody else, but it's the whole sequence of events that led up to it. It was first Coy, and then it was Connor, and now it's Kenny. It's just Janae who just couldn't catch a break.
Guy after guy, she is either not chosen first or the guy leaves.
Mm-hmm. I love what she had to say to him later on too, where she's like, if there's a decision, if you're torn between me and someone else, I'm going to make the decision for you, and I want you to choose her.
Oh, that was some queen shit.
It was powerful,
and
I loved it.
No, stand on business, girl.
Stand your
you're right. I don't want. No woman wants to be the guy's second choice. If you're torn between two women, then I don't want any part of that.
Yep. The new girlies from Casa are very quick to judge our OG girlies as if they've known them at all.
This is what's pissed me off about them. There was zero empathy.
None.
Zero empathy for what they just went through. And they're all like, they were vile, they were vicious, they were so mean.
Like, girlies, let's not forget that your sole purpose in coming into Casa was so you can worm your way into the villa. Like, let's call it what it is.
It was so, their whole attitude this whole episode just pissed me the fuck off.
Like, your whole purpose was on this show was to break up their relationships, and you did it.
You think they're going to be welcoming to you?
Like, no, of course not.
Give them a second. They'll get there.
They were
But,
like, it's not like they went out of their way to be mean to them either.
No, that was what's pissed me off too. And Kendall out here like being like, oh, they were so mean. They could have been way meaner. They were tame.
They could have done what Serena did last night, in fact, at the end of the episode.
It's like zero empathy for the other women. And
It's
that
so
really
rude.
just put a sour taste in my mouth for these Casa girls.
Yeah.
Like, disgusting. Like, you have nothing. You don't feel bad at all. Like, you see,
Not even the slightest bit.
it's gross.
You see Aaron like going on like a little apology tour for everyone. He's talking to Janae, he's talking to Serena. He goes up to finally talk to Kaylor. And just, at first, she's not having it. Until a few seconds go by, and then she's having
She
it.
caved.
And she caved and she took him back.
Much faster than I thought she would, but I knew she would eventually.
I'm not surprised,
No.
honestly, at all.
She's still, it's her young age coming into play again.
Mm-hmm.
She's still so incredibly naive.
Yeah. We see Rob and Miguel sitting beside Serena. The one thing I will say that I liked about that part of it, because obviously they're going to do what guys do. They're going to be there for Cordell, but
Yeah.
pretend that they're comforting Serena.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, but he was thinking about you the whole time.
I really don't give a shit if he was thinking about me while his dick and his tongue were in someone else.
Exactly. I did like that when she started crying, they both immediately hopped up and got closer to her.
Yes.
So it's like they have redeeming
Yes,
qualities
it's
about
literally what
themselves.
you just brain cells. It's literally what I was gonna say. Like, the boys piss me off so much, but there are sweethearts underneath all of this
Ruse.
Yes, underneath it all, they aren't terrible. Like, they do care about these girls on some sort of level,
Yeah.
right?
How can
Because-
you not? They spend so much time together.
Well, that's the thing, and then Kaylor being like, later on, she confronts Rob. She's like, and Kendall, you're like brothers to me. Like, I can't believe you say that. And then I feel like they genuinely feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, we done fucked up.
Exactly.
And like I think the thing too is that like they didn't picture the hurt that the girls would feel in the moment of doing these things, and then seeing the aftermath and realizing how hurt these people that they genuinely care about.
Yeah, they don't know how to think ahead.
No, there's no thinking ahead.
They don't know that consequences exist.
No, and they're finding out right now. But it was very sweet. This Miguel and Rob in this moment, I was like, see,
They fucked around.
they
Now they found out.
Yeah. I will say I'm a little mad at Nicole, because when the video dropped, she was very angry at Kendall. And, that was disgusting. I can't believe he said that. Like, I'm so mad at him for that. And then crickets.
I feel like she either kind of forgot about it because of how much happened, or she figured that because Kaylor already was letting Kendall have it, that she didn't want to like add on to it.
I don't care.
know.
I would still go to him and be like, what the fuck was that, dude?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it has nothing. I feel like I would feel some type of way that you said that as your like
Friend, yeah.
as your like partner
Yeah.
couple. Like, I'm like, why would you? I don't know. I didn't appreciate. I'm a little mad at her because I feel like you also had a responsibility to hold him accountable.
She got caught up in the moment of like, oh my god, he's back, and he came back alone.
The reunion was actually really fucking cute though.
It was.
It was really cute. It made me forget that I was mad at Kendall for like 2 seconds.
Well, that's why I'm saying like she probably
okay, you're
forgot.
right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because they were so happy to like be together again, and they were so cute in Soul Ties, and they walk up to Soul Ties, and he's like, "Oh, we're going to Soul Ties." Like,
yeah.
Okay, I'll give her a pass. You're right. She had tunnel vision. Her man is back.
Exactly. We see Leah talking with Kenny and Cordell.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just painting the picture for these guys. She's like, we were all so incredibly respectful of you guys, and we kept you guys in mind the entire time.
Mhm.
And look at what happened. We sent all of our guys home, and you guys brought all of your guys home. So, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And she said, and I wrote the quote down for it, because Cordell was asking Leah now about the video. Because now he's like, all right, I fought against the video. Let me find out what this video actually is. So, like a true fucking fuckboy. And Leah said, I was rooting for you so heavy, I just don't get it. You left the realest bitch in here.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Serena, but she's a real bitch.
She's true to herself and true to her intentions.
Mhm.
Janae too. Very the two of them, I feel like they don't get the appreciation that they deserve.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, so we see Aaron and Kaylor chat, and Kaylor's just confused as all hell. Naturally. And I don't know if you caught this. He lied to her.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I did.
Because he led her to believe that they've just like pecked a couple of times. They didn't cuddle on the first.
He didn't have his hand in her pants on night one.
Like he didn't have. Dude, that was all glossed over. I think we're gonna see them fucking at movie night.
Because later on, when she talks to Daniela, and then Daniela leaves the chat, she goes over to talk to her fucking Casa girls, and she goes, "Did you lie to her?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So he lies to her, but he does admit to cuddling in bed. So he's like telling half truths here. He's not painting the full picture.
No, he also leaves out the fact that he did their cute little secret handshake with another girl.
I forgot about that.
I haven't forgotten about it.
They did do the secret. Oh.
I haven't forgot about it.
You know they're going to show him doing the handshake.
I'm not going to lie, that almost hurts more than kissing someone.
So Ariana actually mentioned that on the After Sun. And sure enough, I know now for a fact it's going to be in movie night. Ariana saw that clip and she said, "Oh no, put that in movie night. Kayla needs to see that."
It's so hurtful.
It's
because
so
that feels like a secret, intimate thing between you and your partner, and then for them to go and do that with someone they've known for 12 hours.
Yeah. Aaron says in confessional that he really missed Kaylor so much, even though it didn't seem like it.
Oh yeah, you really did, bro. It is like classic. Like again, I hate they technically didn't cheat on their partner, but it's like classic cheater mantra of like, "Oh, I missed you so much. Oh, I'm so sorry, it was a mistake. Oh, I didn't mean it. She was just there."
It's giving Ross Geller, "We were on a break."
Exactly. Just because I'm not in your sight does not mean you get to stick your tongue down someone else's throat outside of a challenge, Holmes. Even that is weird to me, like the distinction between when you kiss in a challenge it doesn't count, but kissing it, like I have a hard time wrapping my brain around like that distinction.
It is weird.
It's really weird.
There's like no attachment when it's in the challenge, but outside of a challenge, there's a form of attachment. It's weird.
Yeah. It's like it's one of those things that just is like a very specific Love Island thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we see Kaylor giving Liv the rundown of their conversation, and then we see Kaylor say in her confessional that she knows that Aaron wouldn't lie to her. And then all I wrote was, she is not going to be happy on movie night.
No, I hate this. I knew this was going to happen.
This is going to be this is the beginning of the end, I think, for Kaylor and Aaron.
I saw this happening, that he was going to lie to her. They were going to downplay it, and then movie night would come, and they would get them to a good place. And the movie night would come, and she would be even more hurt than before.
Oh, yeah. Because he had every opportunity to be honest with her, and he chose not to.
Just rip the Band-Aid off, bro.
Just get it over with.
Just get it over with.
She will more likely forgive you when you are honest with her, rather than if you lie to her and then she finds out, then your goose is cooked.
Yes.
You're done.
Yes.
Like, guys just don't have the
They're so
capacity
stupid
to figure that out.
They're so stupid, but so nice to look at, and it's really annoying.
It's annoying.
It's so annoying, okay?
Liv and Kaylor actually then go out of their way to introduce themselves to the new girlies.
Yeah.
Which was very mature of them to do.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And they couldn't even bother to sit up, say hi, do anything. Casa girls are fucking disrespectful as shit, and I don't like them.
I didn't even think about that, honestly.
I did. There was you didn't sit up, you didn't really say anything, they're trying to talk to you, and you're just laying there, like, after gossiping about a house,
how mean they
are, and like, fuck off.
So quick to judge them.
They're just, I hate
after they caused their men to, no, actually, not their fault, it's their men's fault.
It is.
I won't go there.
But the lack of empathy is what really irks me with them, and this attitude with Dea and Daniela that they are somehow superior.
Yeah.
Because they took their man.
But hey, got in the villa!
Like, it's gross. I don't like the Casa girls.
Yep.
At all.
We see Leah and Serena chat. Cordell, of course, pulls Dea into chat and just tries to be like, sorry that this all happened. I don't want you to think that I'm, like, disregarding your feelings and this, that, and the other. Who cares? Who even cares? And then they both try to maintain that they didn't dry hump in the video. But really, we saw it in 4K.
I saw it.
We saw it in 4K. So, like, what do you mean?
There's no other explanation.
The way that these people are living in a house that has camera in every single little crevice and are wearing mic patches, which are really annoying.
They're so annoying.
And they still lie through their teeth. Just because you had a blanket over you doesn't mean that we don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. There is no reason for that position to be that position.
Did you think that we woke up stupid?
Yes, they really do. I swear to God, they do. Like, there's no other explanation. I'm sorry. We're not 12-year-olds. Okay, people watching this show, we fucking know something. We've been around the block a time or two, guys. Okay, we know what the fuck that was.
Exactly. We're not dumb.
We're not dumb.
Kendall rushes over to apologize to Kaylor, and while they're chatting, Rob seems to come out of nowhere. Like, you don't see him appear in the conversation until he contributes to the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, where did you come from?
Yeah.
But they, of course, make up. But, because Kaylor was all like, I thought we were friends. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing encouraging this behavior?
Mm-hmm.
No explanation for it whatsoever. This is when Janae and Kenny have their breakup chat.
Mm-hmm.
We already kind of just talked about it, but essentially they break up. And Kenny, for some reason, starts crying.
Yeah.
Like, he becomes a sad boy.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he saw it playing out that way. And I think he really genuinely likes Janae. And but I think didn't think it all the way through.
He didn't, but that also still equates to, like, a lack of respect on Janae, because you got to know her well enough to know how much, she already went through in this process before he got there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, again, guys don't have forethought.
No.
In their brain.
No.
And so now they're, like, looking at their consequences like,
Yeah.
I guess I could have done better. Literally, the theme of this episode is, I could have done better. Mm-hmm. I could have been more respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but you didn't.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
You didn't.
And that's why we're here.
Yep.
Because we're here to talk about dumb shit y'all do.
Yep.
Aaron tells Liv that he knows he loves Kaylor. And she's like, but then why are you doing this? You gotta prove it. You gotta show her that you do. And I love how now after he misbehaves, now he has no problem dropping the love bomb.
I'm saying that he's gonna ask her
to be
his girlfriend.
Yup. Ridiculous.
Like, fuck off, bro.
Janae sleeps outside at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron and Kaylor sleep in soul ties together.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you might as well have just coupled up with him.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well just coupled up with him. Stay loyal to him. Have your argument if you knew you were just going to make up with him anyway.
Well, I don't think she did.
I mean, sure, but the naivete.
Yes.
We're now in day 21. Cordell brings breakfast for both Dea and Serena.
Fucking
and Serena
idiot.
just knocks that shit
The
back.
fucking idiot.
I had such mixed feelings about this scene, and I don't know why it bothered me so much. Because, like I said, I'm Team Serena, but I'm also Team, Cordell and Dea just have a better connection. I think.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the problem is the way that they went about it.
He's trying to have them both.
And that's what's annoying.
Yes.
You made your bed, now lie in it.
Now hump in it.
That line was iconic. That's some iconic shit.
Yeah. Sierra is already spiraling because Miguel isn't giving her enough attention.
She is not made for reality television.
I don't know about
it right now. She is overwhelmed.
She's definitely overwhelmed, for sure.
And I think the fact that Miguel the night before was like, I still want to get to know Leah.
That, I think, didn't help.
No.
That's why I said regret was just all over her face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because she's, sitting here wait, what? I thought that we were, gonna... Okay.
Yeah.
Again, and Miguel we see checking on Kaylor. And this is the most interaction we've seen Miguel have in days at this point. Because he's actually having, a decent conversation with Kaylor, trying to kind of check in. Kaylor maintains that she's not going to get mad at Daniela for simply liking him, but she will probably get mad at Daniela for lying to her.
As she should.
Mm-hmm. As we will see.
Yep.
Kenny chats with Catherine. he says he brought her back to the villa, and I don't think I fully understood his explanation, but was it essentially say to further the connection, and he was apologizing to her for miscommunicating that? Because he had a whole thing where he's like, I could have articulated this better, and I apologize for it, like,
Yeah.
and she's giving like that Sid the Sloth look.
Yeah. I think he was doing the same thing as Miguel. Right? Like, he didn't want to give up on the connection at the villa, but he didn't want to give up on the connection from Casa, and so he brought her back. But I think where he got lost was saying that his connection with Janae is stronger.
Yep.
And he, again, like, shot him himself in the foot and was, like, now had to, like, backtrack, but not like, I see why he had a hard time, because he really done himself dirty there.
He did, but again, if you had forethought, maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe, you would have.
Like, there was no rule that said you had to bring a girl back from college. Like, if you genuinely thought your connection with Janae was stronger, there was not a gun to your head, dude. You didn't have to bring a girl back.
No.
And that's what I don't understand. Like, if you consistently saying, he said it to Janae after the fire pit, he said it at the fire, like, his connection with her is stronger. So why the fuck did you bring a girl back?
Like, all right, admit it. Which boy was going to give you
No,
a wedgie?
seriously. It just keeps furthering my theory.
Which boy was going to give you a wedgie if you didn't choose anybody?
I swear to God, someone was in his ear, because his words and his actions do not align at all.
So we see Daya and Serena chat next, and they're talking about how Daya wants to give Cordell a little space after the fallout from the night before. Sierra is like convinced in a confessional that Cordell wouldn't bring her back just for the sake of getting his dick wet, but honey, yes, that's exactly the reason why
He's not. He's lusting after her.
That's the thing, right? Daya is giving him ass, like, right away.
She is following him around like a little, I hate saying this, like a little pick-me, like showering him in attention, giving him whatever he wants, being like, oh, you're the best, you're the great, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, she's stroking his ego.
Yes, and that's why he picked her. It has nothing to do with the connection and everything to do with an ego boost.
Yeah.
There's no substance to this connection at all.
Yep. No, none whatsoever. And he'll realize that much later. Liv and Kane chat, and he already seems like a much better match for Liv so far. I won't
like
say
him.
right away, but
So far, I'm liking it, yeah.
And I think it's probably because of who she's already been coupled up with in comparison. But this one allowed her to have her space the night before to be there for her friends. He believes in being able to take things slower, which I think Liv is also kind of in that same boat where she wants to take things slow.
Yeah.
So we didn't really see much. That was really all I cared
No,
about.
there's not a lot of them because there's so many things going on with other couples that they kind of get glossed over a little bit.
Yep. We do see a sweet moment of Serena venting with Aaron, and then they have that cute little hug after she starts bawling.
Yeah.
Cordell and Daya chat, and she wants him to be more clear with what he wants going forward, which makes sense because you don't want to be looking like a dummy.
She does.
Miguel pulls Leah in for a chat, which gets the girls a little too excited, and I don't really understand why.
Leah pissed me off in this moment. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's probably because of the same reason that I'm thinking. I think we're about to brain cell here.
I love that. Okay.
Is it because she takes something that he said, like that Cordell was more interested in Serena than
Actually,
Daya.
no, it's not that.
And well, I don't know if you noticed, she uses the words like, 90% Serena, 10% Daya. And then she brings that back to Serena and Janae
Yes.
as if those were his words.
Yes.
But they were not at all his words, and that's going to get them in trouble later.
Yes. No, what pissed me off was her to Janae's face saying that I agree with you, you're so right, I understand how you feel, blah, blah, blah. And then to Miguel going, she's being dramatic. I don't understand what the problem is.
I've been mugged off. Like,
That pissed me off. That really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because, like, wait, which one is it? You support your friend or you don't? Because right now you're talking shit behind her back.
Well, it goes right back to Rob is being really dramatic to, I never talked shit about him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like you're playing both sides here.
It's annoying.
Rob and Daniela have a chat. They're basically just trying to jump each other's bones at this point. It's so dumb. And she's talking about potentially talking to Kaylor. He's telling her to wait until she approaches her.
Which was correct.
Yes, it was. This is where I already mentioned the 90-10 conversation.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
So then we go to the villa night party,
Mm-hmm.
and now this is the first night officially. Well, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the recoupling was the night before. So
Yep.
yeah, first real night that everybody has to sit and mingle and get to know each other and whatnot. Kaylor pulls in Rob for a chat to clarify further what happened with Aaron and Daniela, and I think this was a mistake because all Rob was gonna do is just, protect his friend.
Yeah.
And protect the new girl
Yeah.
that he brought back.
You know what really pissed me off, we did mention this before, was that Aaron was more upset at the thought of Rob leaving than he was when he got to the recoupling, and Kaylor, who he supposedly is in love with, didn't recouple with him. This entire time he's been back in the villa, he is so just like stone-faced when it comes to her, but had no issues sobbing like a bitch baby at the thought of Rob leaving.
Yep.
It's fucking weird.
It's gross.
It's really gross.
Because at this point now, I think he was too confident that he was going to be able to pull himself out of the mess.
Yeah.
If Kaylor decided to couple up with somebody else, maybe the reaction would have been different. I don't know.
I don't get it. Like, what? It's just weird.
So now we see Kaylor pull Daniela.
Yeah.
And now she's trying to understand better what that situation was between the two of them. And she says, we really got along. We have a good friendship. I hope to continue still being friends with him. I know how much he really loves you. I love you. And I'm like, why are you saying I love you to her? You just met her last night. Like, you have barely known each other for 24 hours. You probably hardly ever spoke a word. You probably didn't speak a word to each other that entire day.
It's fucking it's weird.
It's giving fake.
Yes.
It's giving fake.
Because it is.
So and same thing, she didn't tell her the whole truth about everything. And then she brings that back to her Casa Girlies and basically said, I lied to her.
Literally straight up was, did you lie? And yes, I did.
And shame on, I think it was Dea who said it, shame on you, Dea, for saying, oh, well, that's his responsibility to tell her the truth. No, the responsibility then falls on the girl that she went up to ask what happened. The minute she brings the question to you,
you tell the truth.
You tell the truth.
I can't wait for it to come out at movie night.
And then we see the moment.
Yeah.
Serena and Dea are now chatting. And Serena asks her if the 90-10 conversation happened. To which, of course, Dea says it didn't, because it didn't. And I understand.
Yeah.
I don't think Dea lied at all, minus the part where they didn't dry on.
Yeah.
Everything else I think she was being honest about. Because Cordell was still saying that he had these feelings for Serena.
Yeah.
But I think it was partly him putting on like this show that he wants people to tell Serena, right, that he was missing her. But meanwhile, he's messing around with homegirl over here.
He wants his cake and
to eat it too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now at this point, Serena has left the building.
Yeah.
She is there, but she has not.
She's checked the fuck out. Yeah.
And she just basically goes like, you can have him.
Yeah.
She says she's done with it. She's going off on all of the guys.
As she should.
So, I don't know. Because remember, this blew up over a complete miscommunication and a misunderstanding.
Yeah, okay.
Remember, Miguel never said that there was a 90-10 conversation.
Yeah.
I know for facts Cordell never said any of that. Why would you?
No.
Leah used those words, 90-10.
Yeah.
And she ran with it.
Well, she doesn't know that Leah lied.
I don't think Leah meant to lie. I think that she took her interpretation of their conversation, but she didn't clarify that those were not his words.
It's like, I think that's what he meant.
Exactly.
It's all she had to add to the rest of that sentence.
Exactly. She could have easily said, this is not a direct quote, but I think this is what basically he said.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But instead, they took those words literally. And I think that this caused a much bigger misunderstanding than it really needed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And now that's why I think that her going off on the rest of the guys is wrong because she should have talked to them and get the full picture.
Yeah, she was was a little reactive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, by the way, Max was on Team Serena. He's like, nah, she should freak out.
Well, she means she has every right to be angry.
Yes. But this will have negative ramifications as well.
Oh yeah.
And now we see just Serena's on a full-on spiral. She's arguing with Cordell, and she says, "I'm done." And then the episode ends.
That is who she should have yelled at.
Yes.
The boy, the other guy, she had every right to be angry at them, but I think she should have approached them in a less hostile way.
Even keeled, yeah.
Yes, whereas Cordell deserves to get screamed at.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's the end of episode 23, and tonight we are getting what's left of that
Yikes.
mess.
Yeah. And Ariana said movie night is this week.
Oh, fuck. Watch it be on Thursday.
It's going to be I'm telling you, it's going to be Tuesday because we have a break.
Oh, true.
They're going to do it Tuesday, and then we have to wait till Thursday
Yeah.
to get the aftermath.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I know.
Yeah, so we probably do have maybe only a few weeks left.
Mm-hmm.
This is insane.
Mm-hmm. We have a very tea-dropping challenge tonight.
What do you mean?
The challenge that they're going to be doing tonight.
Oh, I have no idea. What was the first look?
So from what I read from the preview, they go off and do this challenge, and
oh wait,
blank did blank with blank.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I forgot. Yes.
So tea is going to be dropped before movie night even happens.
That's amazing.
Yes.
They're gonna already start blowing everybody's spot one by one
before we even get to movie night.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm team let these girls find out exactly what they're meant to.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready, and I'm super excited for what's going to happen tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope we get a little more Ariana.
Me too.
But I think she's killing it so far as a host.
She's doing a great
She
job.
doesn't have to do much.
No. But she brings a really nice aspect to it because she's a fan.
Yeah.
So, like, her reactions at things when she's there is so genuine, and it's like
when she almost cried about Nicole and Kendall getting back together.
Yes.
Yeah.
She brings a really great element of, like, she's a fan. She's doing a great job.
She's having these girls' backs
Mm-hmm.
in the way that she probably wishes the girls had her back.
100%. 100%. Hell yeah.
I'm so here for it.
And I love that. She's a girl's girl.
Yes.
Through and through.
Through and through, baby.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed this week 4 recap.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you watch it, everything's already been aired.
Mm-hmm.
I've just taken my sweet time with editing, so I'm sorry, guys. But
it's okay. You've got a full-time job, Esty.
True. And our editors don't seem to work out very long, so
Yeah.
that was ambitious of us.
It was.
But it's fine. If you liked this episode, if you liked what we had to say, just give this video a like. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us some comments. We love to go over the commentary. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're streaming from like Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you are subscribed to the podcast or follow the podcast. I don't really know how the terminology goes, but also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at PumpedUpT. I'm trying to get some bonus stuff on the Patreon, but it's only going to be for members. It's only $5 for a membership if you decide that you want to do that. We appreciate it because we want to level up too.
Yeah.
So if you help us with that, we will be able to provide that much more for you. So, yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.